I didn't actually start with that.
Literally, all right. I was like, oh, thought that was the intro. I was like,
No,
yeah,
it would have been a better intro probably, but
yeah, well,
now I feel under pressure, right? Under pressure. I literally have a song for everything. So I'm actually delighted to have you on here tonight. I think you're the perfect person to talk about what we're going to talk about. So the topic is that we sort of agreed on together how to be body goals. But before we delve in, do you want to introduce yourself to everyone? Who is Scott North?
yes. I've been a PT for not even a year, which is mad. And I've started mid-pandemic. Great idea that was, but still great.
Started from the bottom now, I hear.
It's been working away, just trying to help as many people as I can. It's been about a year. I used to be
Yeah.
a technologist as well, but that was once I found my passion, then I became a PT, obviously. And
Yeah, so I'm assuming like body goals, is this something that you see in like a lot of people? You know, would you say most people have a specific body look that they're aiming for in life? This is something I'm really passionate about this topic.
I think, given social media right now,
Yeah.
and how everyone mentions and talks about this topic, you shouldn't have body goals. Now, I know a lot of my clients do have a goal that they want to achieve.
Yeah.
And they can, if you ask them, if you say to them, you have to word it rightly, like in a certain way, but to be like,
Yeah.
is there someone that you inspire to have to look like or something like that?
Yeah.
There's somebody who like, oh, she looks great.
To sort of gauge where they're like looking to go.
Yeah, it's more of a gauge. And usually once they give me the gauge, it's more like, right. And then I will just kind of chat to them about it and why, really delve into why and how. And, it's important to make them realize that what they're seeing on that social media and what they're seeing isn't real. It's completely, it's like 100, 200, 300 photos and it's a different angle. It's all, you know what I mean? So
I'm so glad you brought that up though, because like everything, I mean, it's an online magazine, but it's magazines that you would have had to have gone out to the shop to buy, right? But that's now readily accessible at our fingertips, like 24/7. The fact that these people don't actually exist, like this body isn't real, these bodies have been edited, and it even gets so bad that people are uploading videos that have been put through Facetune so that they're trying to show then a video, because obviously a video you can see the real thing and you can't edit it, but no, these apps are now about so that the videos are edited. And I don't know if you've seen like a lot of sort of massive influencers and just celebrities have been caught out. There's accounts that have shown that these videos gone wrong, so you can see where they've edited in their body. And I mean, that's being broadcast. This really riles me up. I'm like, this is horrendous message to be putting out there.
It's just like, what it gets to me the most is there's a lot of people out there, like I know a few females especially, who would really be really affected by these posts. Like really, like I didn't realize how deep they would actually get involved in it, but they really like look at that photo and then tear themselves apart. Be like, well, why don't I look like that?
So you're talking about that they look at that and compare their own bodies, and it really makes them feel like rubbish.
And it's horrible to hear, because you're listening to them and
it's crippling. Like you can see it's crippling them.
Yeah, it's crippling them, and it's like not like, it's very sad for me to hear. Like
is this like, clients or friends or just general everything?
It has been clients, and it also has just been people, who would know that I'm a PT, say like, I'm out the night out, when people are a wee bit drunk, they'll chat to you and they'll tell you things, and you're just like, you're listening, you're just going, oh.
It all comes out when you're drunk kind of thing. Yeah, but would you find that because obviously I only know from a female perspective really, but would you find this with males, that this is something that you do also? Not you necessarily, but that it is apparent in the male species that you would see male celebrities or just male people that you look at online, would that be more prominent, or does it exist still in males where you would look at others and it makes you feel self-conscious or whatever about your body?
Definitely think there's a big social pressure for males now. I do think males do. There's a big change in how we seeing these guys who are ripped and like.
You don't talk about it, so nobody knows. You know, there's no fellas out here that I really see sharing, oh, I saw such and such images and now I feel like rubbish about my body. You know, I feel like females are very much like share it, whereas males more deal with it themselves.
Yeah, it's more like, yeah, we would definitely like there's times for myself even that like just trying to like maintain a certain physique. It's like
we have spoken a bit about that, you know, that at a certain time in your life, I don't know how long ago it was, that you sort of were aiming towards a body shape and got stage ready and everything, but how maintainable is that and what you sacrificed in your life to achieve that? Would you, if you went back, would you do it again, or do you think, are you happy you did it, or would you say no?
I'm happy I had done it because I wanted to prove to myself to see. It was more of an experiment to see if what I see on Instagram can be actually achieved. And holy moly, it can be achieved, but let me tell you, I don't know what they're doing, and they must take thousands of photos and put them all year round, and I don't know how, like it's...
You can add a six-pack onto an image, like, I mean, literally, you can edit everything. These things probably don't exist. But what did you sacrifice, like, just a few examples to achieve that?
I gotta literally list you the things that... First one is obviously you just sacrifice all the nice food, so it's just actually dreadful, because I love chocolate and sweets. 8 weeks out, you literally won't allow yourself anything apart from the meals that you've planned. So you are regimented and eat meals at certain times of day.
You couldn't eat out with friends, or there could be no flexibility in your life. Someone asked you to go, no, I have strict times for eating.
Yeah, 100%. Well, like...
Dependent on how strict you are with it, obviously.
Yeah. The first time I did it, I was super strict, and my goal was to know, don't like not let your social part die down. But I would have went out with a bunch of mates, and they would have all been eating lovely food, and I would have been sitting there like with
your Tupperware.
No, not even, like I would have had my meal, and then I would have just sat with my coffee and just sat there, and I would have enjoyed myself, but I knew that my mates felt awkward because they were like...
Did nobody say anything? Like, was there like, he's an outcast now that he's doing this, or were they like cheering you on kind of thing?
Mix of both, I would say.
Yeah. You get the people that are like, you're an idiot for doing that. Why are you doing that? But then you have some supporters.
Some people are like, that's mad the way you currently look now. And I'm like, it's mad, but I don't feel good.
You learn though.
You're really dying inside, like...
I know, but you learn from these things. And I know a lot of people that have got stage ready, and then for the rest of their life, well, I wouldn't say the rest of their life, because obviously it's possible to heal that, but that they've really, really struggled with the aftermath of that and dealing with the body changes that happen. Was that a thing for you? Do you think that is, you know, very common with competitors?
That's a really good question. So I was going to actually look this up about the whole... So I'll just explain. So remember I did a shoot there maybe about last week.
Yeah.
The whole, like,
sure, I was messaging you here. Look at you.
And yeah. So
check it out. Now everyone's going to be flooding your page. Like, here, I need to see this.
But basically, like, since the shoot and all, like, I'll just come out. Like, I've had like a few like binge episodes where I've eaten a lot of food, and I'm like, I'm eating it, and I'm like, I don't need to eat it anymore, but I'm just going to eat it because I can and because I want to and because it's nice. But it's excessive and it's all out of control. And I've been wondering. It happened the first time, and I was wondering, like, is this normal? And I definitely think it is.
Well, I can tell you now it is, because if were you in a stage of restricting prior to that photo shoot?
Oh yeah, like for 8 weeks prior, like I was literally just eating
proper, like
I couldn't name you. I've had that much. I couldn't name you every single thing I had, but I'm not bore you with the details.
Okay, so it's very a strict sort of thing to get to that photo shoot because you wanted that photo shoot for just another experiment.
It was that one was more. I wasn't even planning to do a photo shoot that time. That was just me kind of trimming down a wee bit because, like, obviously I do a wee bit of bodybuilding, and it was like, let's see what I look like, and kind of just kept progressing on. I was, oh well, may as well do a wee photo shoot here because we did capture some of this evidence, like that someday I'll be.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? So definitely, I think the binge eating thing. And
well, I used to have. I don't know if I told you, I used to have binge eating disorder. So. And that came after me recovering from anorexia. So you can see how the two are totally linked. That after a period of restriction, it doesn't need to be severe, that your body is literally like crying for nutrients and nourishment to, you know, replenish and get back to some sense of normality. So a lot of functions go out the window whenever you're in a sort of state of starvation or just have decreased. And so that extra nourishment is actually your body signaling to you, like, please give me food, because it doesn't want to be starved again.
It's like a survival instinct, basically, isn't
it? Yes, exactly. It's your body. And I think to deprive yourself whenever you're craving something is only like setting you up for failure. So I actually think it's really good that you've acknowledged that you maybe had episodes where it was like slightly beyond your or beyond, you know, what would you be your normal, but that you felt as though you wanted that, and that's fine.
It was just like, don't get me wrong, I did feel a bit guilty afterwards. I was like, cheekers, that was a bit.
I think that's normal. Cheekers, no. You're like, oh, here. No, but I think that's a sort of normal thing to feel guilty after doing something that, you know, is deemed sort of wrong or something by society, or it's kind of like there's a lot that comes into it, or doing something that you feel like you're out of control, but that it's actually just, you know, you really have to talk to yourself in those times and being like, no, you know, and going back to what I've said about my body's been, and well, you were going to look it up yourself, so you were trying to gain some knowledge like on why this is happening or whatever.
I think the whole restrictive eating of the whole bodybuilding, kind of getting the body you want, definitely that's a big negative spin on your food. Like
you associate like food with how it's affecting your body.
It shouldn't. It really shouldn't be like this. And I was doing a wee bit of reading today.
But it's good to be honest. It shouldn't be like this, but there's many things that it is.
And it's crazy. Like, it's just like, I was sitting thinking about it. I was like, what? Like, it's not healthy. And I was like, why did I even bother doing this if this has led to this? Now, it happened before the first time, and it was the way it worked. And I know I'll come out of it because it's just a matter.
You did start binging a bit after whenever you did it before for the. Okay. So it is kind of a norm for you, and you do get through it.
I did get through it each time. You progressively just eat more calories until your body kind of goes, oh,
but you not just think to yourself like, is this worth it?
Sometimes I do, and then see, I get very what's the word, like
you're driven, you're motivated in that time, so like
I love the whole like mindset of like doing something and highly intensely, it's all or nothing. And
I'm very much in that, like if I'm going to do something, I'm doing it, like, you know, it doesn't matter what anyone tells me.
It's like, let's go for
I hear you.
But it was interesting. It was kind of like, you would say it was an experiment. I was interested this time. I was like, I was like, I wonder how I'll feel after.
So you were mindful this time of thinking a bit of the after because you'd been through it before.
That have kind of worked out, like, for example, okay, so say if I am thinking I really want something to eat, like I'm talking, let's say
something dirty.
Like only like, you know, mods in Belfast, and they do like the crepes and stuff like that. Like that's just
Aye.
So like A few things I love, like I love fruit. Like I'm talking like apples, pineapple, whatever you want.
Anything.
So if there's fruit there, I'll eat that first and then drink a normal glass of water or like a normal, and see how I feel after a while. That usually curbs it a bit, to be fair. Like there's a few other wee small things as well. Just making sure that you're like not in the vicinity of them places.
Because a lot of the times people do crave sweet, and so they eat whatever sweet stuff is around.
Yeah,
so 100%. If you're sometimes like when you're craving something sweet, like as you say, like fruit is, you really love fruit, so you curb it with fruit. But then other times, like people don't actually have fruit, so all they have is like chocolate biscuits, or as you say, they just go out or get a takeaway from mods and get the crepes delivered in. So it all depends as well on like your accessibility to things. A lot of people would say, oh, just don't have it in the house because then you can't access it.
I would agree. I don't have keep a lot of sweet stuff in the house anyway. But
do you think you'd be like riot with it all at the minute if it was there? Be the whole thing would be gone. My mum used to have to lock food in her car and go to work so that I couldn't access it. Like honestly, my binge eating was shocking. I swear to God, I was like, my attendance in upper second school was minimal because I just sat in the house all day binging. I swear to God. Like it was really extreme. Like I haven't actually spoken much about my binge eating disorder at all, but sure, that's for another day.
It can be quite chaotic. Binge eating can be like, you can literally you keep eating and your stomach is, and you're like, how am I fitting all this in? And your stomach is.
No, like seriously, because I've always been like a slim person and I was just disgusted. And I mean every day, like I woke up saying, like I went to bed the night before saying, right, tomorrow, this is it. Like I'm not doing this anymore. This is a disgrace. And every day I just did it. And you just feel absolutely and utterly shamed. And binge eating disorder was actually the eating disorder of choice for this year's Eating Disorder Awareness Week. There's so many statistics about it, but that it is actually, really not spoken about, and there's not a lot of support or help available currently for people with binge eating disorder. There's so much shame around that.
Yeah, it's not really it's very unspoken about, but like
it is. It's not like a sexy thing. Like I feel like anorexia and bulimia have been so glamorized through the media and through even social media stars, making it like where people are actually aiming to look skeletal thin and people being praised for looking this way and everything. But also like there's a lot to be said for just coming off that. Everyone's body goals changing through time. What's deemed sexy at one time?
It's right enough, yeah. And you think about that. Mm-hmm.
Do you know that whenever, like back in the 70s, Twiggy was, I don't know if you know who Twiggy is, but very slim, like she was called, I don't know if her actual name was Twiggy, but you think the sort of, just like Kate Moss and everything, going into now, girls are meant to be like big boobs, big bum, and then males are meant to be, meant to be, says who? Society? Like, this is just what society's told us.
But it shouldn't be meant to be, but we all know what you mean when you're saying it. Like, we all
That's what you're saying, even it shouldn't be this way about how you feel after things and all, but that's the way society is. So, trying to unpick this and forgiving yourself and just being okay existing in the world is actually quite difficult to navigate now.
Yeah, it's impossible. It's
impossible.
The way that sounds like you know what I mean, but you just can't all be like, because we always chat, like we chat maybe every day or maybe every other day, like, and it's just always like you're always throwing out positive vibes, and I think that is just being positive and happy and like just really living in the moment. We've got to live for that moment all the time and just try not to worry as much and stuff. And I think that's one of the things you can do. You know what I mean? It's like but obviously it's easier said than done for some people. Like they are so concerned about where they look and all body.
Yeah.
So it's just you have to live in the moment, like as you always say, like positive. You're always super positive, and I chat to you. It's like it's great. Like it's like having a
Like, if anyone's ever down, they just come to me. Like literally, people message me like, Amy, like even on a Saturday night, they're like, you know, feeling rubbish because alcohol's a depressant. They're like, I just haven't heard from them in 2 years. They'll message me like it's like a free therapy over here for your mates, because I'm just always, you know, the one to like pick everyone up. But I mean, yeah, I guess there could be worse ways to be, right? I love just cheering for people. I mean, just out here being a cheerleader, more people need to be just nice to others. And nicer to themselves as well, tying in with, you know, what we're talking about here. Would you recommend having a body goal different?
Would I recommend having a body goal? Oh God, like.
Do you know what you'd say? Like, would you recommend that to your mate?
Like having a body goal, as in like, no. Like I think like.
Thank you for saying no.
It's like
I was thinking he's gonna say yeah.
No, like it's like, if anything, I'd be like, if you're like obviously if they're upset about something, we need to actually, you need to delve deeper into them reasons as to why he believes he needs to look, or she believes that they need to look at a certain
Yes, way. I love the fact that you've said that as a PT, because obviously you see so many of, you know, a lot of PTs do advertise themselves through the body transformation photos because that's what's sexy and what's going to sell their clients what they think they want. But I know what you're saying then, that it actually takes a lot to work with those people to make them realize that it's not the body they're looking for, it's how they're going to feel whenever they change other things.
100%. Like when I started PTing, I did not realize how, like, you nearly want me to go. I nearly want to go down being like some sort of mind guru or some coach or something like that. Because like that is
that's sure what really fires you up.
Like it's so like, you need to focus on it so much. You really need to like, and some people don't like talking about their feelings and stuff, which I totally get. I understand, and like I wouldn't be really overly
so much open. I think that's more. As I say, though, that is more common for males, that males would keep themselves to themselves with difficult things, whereas females chat about it.
Like all this, like, this is going to sound terrible, but all this like airy-fairy kind of like journaling and stuff, that I'm saying that as airy-fairy because I would have thought, I'm going to say it as bullshit back in the day. Like I would have like.
Have you been journaling? Is that what you're going to tell me?
Like I do a bit every Thursday, and it's like just a kind of like a wee bit of reflection of why I'm feeling ABC, and it's helped.
I'm buzzing about that. So, like, I have 101 notebooks in my life. I did not realize that some males, you can see how happy I am about this. Like genuinely, like get all your mates to get a bloody journal, would you?
Like it's great. Like I watched something as well one day, and I was like, I don't journal every day, but I seen somebody once say, this is a YouTuber, and they were like, if you journal every day and write down what's one thing that'll make me proud today, they say if you write that down, that'll be in your mind all day. And like say if it's like,
oh, that's beautiful. Would you do that in the morning then?
I don't journal every day, but when I do it on Thursday night. So I sit down.
Yeah, one thing that you made you proud that day.
And you just go through a few things, and like I just kind of write a few things out, like, oh, I've done ABC this week, or I've done it, and it calms you down. Like it calms you down because you realize, like, hang on here, like nothing's as bad as it seems. Like,
getting things out of your head but onto paper, there's something really powerful about that because you're clearing space.
Yeah, definitely. It's
in your messy mind, actually getting that down on paper, there's something very powerful about it. Like I have a consistent gratitude practice every single night for years upon years. I've books and books filled of my gratitude, and I'm always writing. Like it's just something I've always done, always collected notebooks. So I am so happy that there's males doing this work because it's actually really transformative.
definitely is. Like it has.
And you're gonna say like, oh no, it sounds a bit gay and all this, and you would have said that, but it's lovely to hear. It's lovely to hear though that that's something that you are doing, actively doing for like better health and well-being for yourself. Right?
I've tried meditating. That worked ish. And then but when I started journaling, that really worked for me. That was like
that's the thing, you know, there's different things that work for different people, and some things will fit with you more than others.
For me, I think it just forces you to write stuff down, and it also forces you to really not force. That was like the force is not a bad word. I'm chatting about it. It's more like it really gets you to really think about like mess up that head and just it's like okay, this is fine.
You're like decluttering what's going on in your brain, kind of thing.
That's it. Like yes, that is mind is what we were saying. Like
your mind's magic. You can make it mad or you can make it magic, and I think that's so powerful. And I think that's actually a nice sort of challenge for everyone. So I like to end on a challenge for everyone to now go and every day write down. Well, I'm going to set it for every day because it'll be 1 week. You know, the video sort of, I upload one a week. So for every day from whenever this video goes live, they write down one thing, or you can do way more, one thing that they did that they're proud of that day. Do you think it should be 3 or 1?
Well, the way I would word it was if you do it in the morning, say what's one thing that will make you proud. So it's more of an actionable thing. It's like a doing thing. So
yeah, like I'm going to act from this. Like you're making an intention for the day.
Like, and it could be really small. Like if you're like say like gym wise, like just make it so small and it's so small that it's not going to depress you if you don't get it done. But if you get it done, like say for example, you're struggling to go to the gym, just say I'll go to the gym today for like, I guess it sounds mad, but like for only 2 minutes. I'll just go to the gym for 2 minutes and get on the treadmill, and that's it. I'll go after that. That's all you got to do. It's so small and it sounds ridiculous. It really does. But see, after a while, all that'll add up. Like, and it's wee small things like that. I've done a few small things like that, and they've actually turned into really good habits. So
love that.
What like ridiculously small, like for example, I'll just do another one. One thing like would make me proud is like if I read 5 pages of a book each day.
Brilliant.
That's small. That's really small. And usually I end up reading like 20, 30 pages now. Like, but like, you know, start off small. So what's one thing that will make you proud each day? And write it down. Just it has to be small. It doesn't have to be massive. And it works actually. It works really well. So
brilliant. And then would you recommend then we'll say do the same thing in the evening? One thing I did today that made me proud. So then it's like a morning and evening thing. Or you can do one, just whatever sort of suits your schedule.
Yeah, like it's once again, it's the wee small things. This might take it in small steps. So maybe, for example, if you don't want to do it every day, maybe just do what's one thing that'll make me really this week. And because eventually these things will add up until a point where you might be doing it every day, you might be doing it every week. So baby steps, like
don't put pressure to do it every single day, but if people do it, they could tag us on their stories if they feel comfortable to share that. You know, some things might be private, and that's really like to do it for yourself just in general. But even if you don't have a notebook, that would be a way to do the activity and share it, so you're holding yourself accountable for actually doing it, and we'll be there to show you support. So I think that's really lovely.
Cool. That'd be so cool, like just to see people.
So do you want to let everyone know anyway where they can find you?
So Scott North PT is where you can find me on Instagram, and that's really the only social media handle I actually have, which is
and people can just DM you if they're interested in your services. Do you have is there a website where your packages are available, or sort of?
I just have like the wee link on my bio, and click on that, and that's a wee questionnaire basically, and that kind of just gives me a wee rundown on who you are, what you do, and if I can help you, because I don't I don't
Yeah.
I just don't take people's money. So like it's like if I can't help you, I'll just be like, look, I can't help you.
You may be able to refer them on to somebody else, but that's really, really lovely because there's so many people that are just money hungry and, you know, they're taking on anyone. So it's lovely you have a questionnaire sort of figure out like, oh, are you actually somebody that I can help? Because if not, like, I'm not going to take your money.
Yeah, like that's it. Like some people just go, I'll take your money. And they're like,
I know, savage, like.
It's not worth it. Like, I think building yourself on the right principles initially and being actually a real good, honest person, kind of it's just the way it should be.
It's important. That's so lovely. And actually, thank you so much for your time. I think this has been such an interesting conversation, actually.
Yes, spiraled over quite a few things, but it has been really interesting. And thanks so much for getting me on. Like, I was actually really looking forward to it, and actually just getting to chat to you as well, because we've been chatting so much.
I know, it is lovely, and especially whenever we're in lockdown, like, it's just nice to connect, you know, on a human level. It's different than, I mean, we have been voice noting, and most people do just type, but I mean, we're busy people out here. The voice notes are the way forward.
Voice notes are, it's so quick. Like, people hate me when I voice note, but like, there's other people like, oh, just voice note me. It's so much quicker and it's easier to across.
So, and I love the voice notes because you can, there's no then miscommunication, and do you know the way people might take things a different way whenever you're texting. So it takes all that out.
100%. Like I voice note all my clients when they're when I'm like chatting to them about the check-ins and stuff, because like they can take it the wrong way and you're like, I didn't mean it that way. So it's definitely, it's the emotion carried to a voice note in comparison to the text is so much better. Like, so
another challenge for them, sure. Everyone start voice noting people, have a bit of human connection in life.
You can't be the voice note.
No. Thank you so much again.
No worries.